Not very scary, is it? How about boo? Still, I submit to you, boo is very scary when it is delivered in your bedroom in the middle of the night. I pulled my head from under the blankets and then realized my black cat Luther was celebrating its own private Walpurgis night. It had risen from where it had been sleeping atop the covers, arched its back, and, jumping down, disappeared under the bed. Boo! Who's making all that noise? I croaked, although the answer was obvious, the obviousness accentuated by a finger poking me in the chest. Floating in the air directly above my bed was a white sheet, the white sheet of a traditional ghost. Boo! Hey, this is getting monotonous, I complained, only to have the ghost, lasp into an area of ghastly shrieks and moans. Now, I live on the windy Canadian prairies, and many a night, summer and winter, I've lain in bed listening to the night winds howling around the house. I'd lie there listening and snuggling under the covers, glad I wasn't outside in the storm, especially in winter. Sometimes, for my amusement, I would pretend the noises were ghosts. But back when I was a kid, those noises frightened me. I lived in an apartment back then, and on windy nights, the building's many orifices, all the doors and windows, made the darkness wail like an army of banshees. I'd cower under the blankets then, expecting any second to find a ghost in its white sheet. Okay, its white shroud, standing at the foot of my bed. And now I actually had one, floating around my bedroom and making it hideous with its boo-hooing. Shut up! I bellowed, and to my surprise, the thing stopped. But it did say, once again, boo! You're a ghost, right? I said, which produced another round of spectral cries. I waited for the racket to die down, then said, If you're a ghost, you have to answer any questions I ask. I read that in a book. And I did, in Maria Leach's The Thing at the Foot of the Bed. And now I had a thing at the foot of the bed. Now, I did have questions, but I actually hoped my statement would simply make the ghost go away. And it did. It disappeared, only to be replaced by something worse. I heard the clacking of what sounded like false teeth, and then, shades of the night floaters, a human skull drifted into the room to hover in the air before me. You have questions, it intoned in a deep spectral voice. Oh well, at least it appeared this wasn't a screaming skull. Yeah, what's going on? We're haunting you, the skull clacked. Yeah, I see and hear. But why? Because you modern 21st century people no longer fear the supernatural, the skull said, its yellow teeth snapping and crackling. You no longer fear the dead. You no longer fear ghosts. Look at what passes for horror in these benighted times. Serial killers, stalkers, unpleasant encounters with creepy individuals. And then there are all the latest cryptids, black-eyed children, skinwalkers, the Rake. There are even those ridiculous flying heads, The night floaters. Night floaters ridiculous, eh? That was pretty rich coming from a skull hovering 6 feet in the air. The traditional ghost in its winding sheet is now little more than a Halloween decoration. And even then, at Halloween, ghosts are being replaced by space aliens. Bug-eyed space aliens. We're tired of being ignored, and there are more of us dead than there are of you the living. So we've come back. Back! And with a house-shaking scream, geez, I knew that thing was going to scream, it flew out of the room. Dead silence. I took a deep breath, and then I shut my eyes, fully intending to go back to sleep. That may sound odd, but hey, I was tired. I'd have to think about what I'd just heard, but morning would be soon enough for that. And I wasn't the least bit afraid. I mean, it's not like ghosts can hurt you or anything. I mean, have you ever heard of anyone killed or injured by a ghost? Have you? Good night, ghosties, I muttered as I began to drift off. Then something, that damn skull, screamed right in my ear. At the same time, the bedclothes were ripped off the bed. I yelled something inarticulate, and probably very rude, only to have my shouts drowned out by a weird cacophony of howls and yowls, roars, bellows, and caterwauling screeches, all punctuated by bursts of maniacal laughter and blaring discordant music. Luther, who had climbed back onto the bed, disappeared again with a meow of sheer terror as the room filled with white-sheeted ghosts that grabbed the pillows off my bed with their spectral hands and began to beat me around the head with them. Ouch! Ouch, hey, that hurt! Eventually, the barrage lifted, and I was able to get to the window, where I pulled back the curtains and saw ghosts. Dozens of them, all in their traditional white sheets. Some were flying, some were dancing to eerie music, and all were hollering, "Boo!" or variations on that theme. Others were tormenting the neighborhood cats, while still others amused themselves knocking over garbage cans and in making every car alarm on the street go off at the exact same time. The dead, traditional ghosts, were definitely back. After a time, I lay back down on my mattress. I didn't even think about grabbing my covers or a pillow, lest they be used as weapons against me. And after a while, believe it or not, I fell into a deep sleep and dreamed I held my old lover in my arms. "Oh, my darling," I murmured sleepily. Why did you leave me? Oh, why? Speak to me, darling. Speak to me, my darling. Speak." Boo! I awoke with a start to find I was holding in my arms a white-sheeted ghost. I jumped up to come face to face with the floating skull. Ah! To be continued, or should I say, To be continued.